Great day, beautiful people. I'm excited about today's Teach Tarot because we are talking about the Magician. One of my favorite cards in the deck. Second card in the Major Arcana, right? And the Major Arcana talks to us about our hero's journey. It goes from Zero, the Fool, all the way to the World card, number 21. And it gives us a condensed version of the hero's journey. And the Magician on that journey is right after the Fool, okay? And the Fool has forsaken all of his things, his trinkets, and his family, and his some of his relationships, and he's ready to start anew. And says, "Okay, I've decided to go on this journey. I've decided to be an active participant in life, and so here I go." And then he meets the Magician. Okay, now the Magician in this Light Seers deck is so powerful, and the potency is even more magnified because at the bottom of the deck, now I know y'all like, girl, we're just trying to learn one card here. I don't care. I told y'all I'll be reading two or more cards. At the bottom of the deck, which talks to us about the subconscious, if you ever hear somebody say, oh, at the bottom of the deck, it's like, what else is going on here that we might not be completely aware of? And we've got the Two of Swords. So this message for me is like, you guys don't even understand how much you can conjure up. All right. Now, before we dive in, let me tell you the five things we're going to be talking about today when we look at the card. We're going to look at the character himself or themselves. We're going to be looking at the character. We're going to be looking at the symbolism. We're going to be looking at the story, which means to think about what's happening before and after this card. And then we're going to be looking at reading this card as multiple questions, right? Hey, what's the Magician as an action? What's the Magician as an outcome? What's the Magician as advice? And then finally, we're going to talk about the Magician in the reverse. All right, got it? Let's go. All right, so the Magician, let's look at the character themselves. All right, so we've got somebody here in a hip opener pose, but right, he's got his feet together. He is somewhere in the middle of a valley or somewhere on top of some grass. He's got a little hoodie on with I know I'm getting into the symbolism, right? With a figure eight, and he's got a sacred geometry symbol right there on his arm. I'm not sure which one it is because I am not super familiar with sacred geometry, but it looks like 6 points. Yep, 6 points. And he's sitting there conjuring something from the depths of the earth. All right. He's literally opening up a portal, a black hole. He is there sitting calm, concentrated, right? He's sitting there touching the earth, right? Connecting to the earth itself, pulling and grounding with the earth, but then also conjuring up from with his own energy here with the divine. I can feel something coming from my hand right now, right? Literally saying with the two of, so I know I'm going all over the place, y'all, but I can't help it. And then plus with the Two of Swords, right? Twos always talk about duality. So he's working with the upper world and the middle world, right? Working with the seen and the unseen. Feeling with his body and his mind, right? Duality, you get me? Right? So the magician knows how to play in duality and beyond, right? Because the magician says there's something beyond the this and the that. There's the unknown, which is where he plays, which is where he creates this vortex, this portal, okay? So now let's talk about the symbolism in the card. Again, we've got the four elements here displayed with these triangles, right there, and y'all see them right there, right? We've got like I said, the tattoo and the infinity, right? So the infinity for me, when I read about the infinity symbol, I think of love. I think of the easy application and reception of love. You love me, I love you, right? It just flows. There is no thought. I don't think about, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. No, I just love you, right? So that's where I come from. So this sort of intimate relationship with the divine love the magician has. Again, if you know about sacred geometry, you would put that into something, perhaps as you read the card. He's working with all four elements. Now in other cards, let me see if I can find the magician quickly. hand in this other deck. Usually the magicians are seen with a cup, with a wand, with a sword, and with a pentacle, which lets us know that he's working with all four elements and the ether, right? And with space and with time. Yes, yes, the magician is working with all of the elements and the ones that are unknown. Okay, so that means to pull out your crystals, pull out your tarot, pull out your smoke, pull out your, right? It's like your words, conjure with your words, whatever you need to work with, the magician has, right? You are the magician. So work with everything that you have. Let it all be a resource for you. Okay, so that's symbolism. Now let's think about the story. The magician, I was gonna say he wasn't born the magician, but I'm gonna go so far to say that he was, right? I was born a shaman. I was born a goddess. And don't let anybody tell you any different. But there is a remembrance that has to happen. And so there is this, I don't know why I'm feeling legacy right now, but looking at the legacy of your family magic, right, might be something you want to think about if you've pulled this card, right? If we're thinking about story, man, what is my lineage to magic? Do I want to go and look at my Akashic records? Did my family conjure with, you know what I mean? What did they conjure with? What did they divine with? Was it stones? Was it cowrie shells? Was it cards? Was it smoke? Was it tea leaves? Was it tea remains? Was it pendulums? Was it wind chime? Right? Whatever. Was it looking at the plants? How did your lineage divine and commune with the unknown? Right? How did they talk to their ancestors? What is the lineage of your ancestors? Are there other magicians and shamans and witches and brujas in your lineage? Right? Y'all know I get excited. And then let's think about the story after the magician. So what is the application of this magic that I now have come into connection with, that I am now physically, tangibly connected with? How will I use my magic? And I have this other beautiful deck, and it says the magician is only as good as his tools. And so taking inventory of what you have, right? So men, your tool, one of your most sacred tools is your penis, right? It is your shaft, right? There's power there. And so don't go dispensing that life force just anywhere, right? That is a tool for you. Your mind is a tool, is equipment. Your compassion, your empathy, your words, the way that you think, all of these are equipments in your toolbox. And so remember, the magician is only as good as the equipment that he has, right? And sometimes we forget everything that we already have, right? We forget we have all these elements we can work with. We forget that there is a lineage before us. So the magician has come into full remembrance so that he can apply this magic and use it for good. Ashe. All right. Whew, that was just a mouthful. Let me relax. Let's take a sip of water, okay? All right. So now let's talk about the placements if we're looking at tarot card pulls, like kind of, when you're looking at, oh, I'm doing a Celtic cross reading, or I'm doing a before, after, and present reading, or, so if we're looking at the magician as an action, how do I act? I act in my magic, right? So that means maybe surrendering a little bit more. That might mean doing some candle magic, or making your own Florida water, getting in the kitchen to conjure, right? How do I act? Act differently and act more in the subtle magic field, right? It's less so about like going out there and doing in this sort of traditional way. Excuse my home, it's making lots of noises. Don't just act in the traditional way. It might be time, like I said, to do candle magic, to conjure with your words, to conjure with prayer, to conjure by calling out into your ancestors and saying, please help me, right? To conjure in that space, to do differently. And then as a situation, the magician might say, hey, this involves, right? Like, hey, what's going on? What's going on at my job? Or why am I feeling such dis-ease? And you pull the magician card. I would say that, hey, you're probably in a point of a portal right now. Like you are, I would be paying attention to that part of the card for some reason. It's not for some reason, it's because that's what my intuition is saying. Okay, follow it. This situation is like it's expanding you, right? The situation is expanding you, and that's why it's difficult. Now, what I would do, and actually probably what I'm gonna do right now, is I will pull out an oracle card to further clarify the situation. So let's do that. Let's have some fun, shall we? Got my new Oracle of the Energies card deck, I mean. All right, so Spirit, what's the situation? Why, let me ask. Why have I been having such low energy recently, Spirit? And I pulled the Magician card, but I want further clarification. Like, what's the situation about, right? Ooh, beautiful. And we've got Wish Upon a Star as a clarifying message. So again, this is giving me cosmic, right? Like I said, what I say, y'all, I don't know. For some reason, I'm just paying attention to this portal and it looks like the universe. It looks like expansion, right? Now, of course, there is a full message in my Oracle's guidebook. But if I'm just feeling, right, I'm looking at how, oh, there's a star in this card, and this looks very cosmic and universal here, right? So I'm paying attention to those. So I'm paying attention to the thing that strings these two cards together. So why have I had such low energy recently, Spirit? And I pulled this. So this Wish Upon a Star is telling me like this is exactly as it should be. Or even right, like sort of like the cosmos have placed you in this position, like this is destined, like you're not supposed to be anywhere else, right? So that's one message that I'm getting. But then another message is that this is a time for me to sit and sort of think about what it is that I want to materialize here in the world, right? What is my wish upon a star? You're having low energy because you're supposed to be sitting at home and really thinking about what's next for you. You're supposed to be conjuring up what's next. Now let's look at the card. This is a new deck. I've never pulled this card before. And the key concepts is the importance of daydreaming, intentions based on your desires, the act of consciously committing to a vision, right? So this is why I have such low energy, because I am right now in the magical sweet spot of bringing forth from the unseen to the seen, right? That's what this magician is doing. He's bringing stuff from the from another world, another dimension, into his own force field, right? Ashe. Now, as advice, Spirit, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do. Sorry, y'all. What do I do? And we pull the Magician card. Again, we've asked this as an action, so act differently, conjure up, manifest, pray, but also as advice, call upon the other worlds. I'm hearing, call upon the forces that are unseen. There's help around you, there's aid around you that is not in your physical space, but that is here and can hear you, that is not here but can hear you, right? So the advice is to tap into the unseen, or even better yet, again, I would not just pull one card. I would pull another card. We've got eight of wands. Beautiful. So as advice, Magician and the Eight of Wands. Don't worry, is what I'm hearing with this Eight of Wands. It's like whatever you want, it's coming to you. Don't you worry, or something better actually. The divine is at work here. There are things and invitations and blessings that are coming towards you so fast, right? That would be the advice here. hey, sit pretty. Don't worry about it. Keep praying, keep manifesting, keep telling us what you want, keep praying to your ancestors, keep giving offerings, right? Keep tapping into your family lineage and doing the magic there. You will be taken care of. And then finally, the magician as an outcome. Hmm, this is interesting. Magician as an outcome. Or what's going to happen at the interview, or what's going to happen after we talk, or what's the outcome after I do all of this work that you said. I'm hearing like things will appear as if by magic. There's also this sense of the outcome is you being more psychic, the outcome is you stepping more fully into your power to control the subtle world and the other dimensions, and the outcome is your own magic resourcefulness, right? Making something out of nothing. Yeah, the magician as an outcome is like you're gonna get everything that you want, right? That's sort of the energy of that. Anything else, Spirit? Four of Cups. You're about to receive everything that you're looking for and a little more with this Four of Cups, right? It's like you're gonna get everything you're gonna get everything that you've been wanting and more. A little bonus gift. All right. And then last but not least, guys, let's talk about the magician in the reversal. So the magician who has forgotten his tools, the magician who has forgotten his power, the magician who has forgot to tap into his lineage and feels a little bit off track, right? That's what this feels like. It just feels like somebody who just slipped out of their power for a second. Um, it speaks to us, perhaps even in its most volatile states, doing spiritual work that you have no business doing. Okay. The magician in the reverse could also speak to, hey, are you being, is your heart in the right place as you conjure and talk about pulling things from the unseen to the seen, right? Doing root work that you shouldn't be doing. The magician in the reverse, when it comes to relationships, could be manipulation, right? Because the magician is nothing else if not manipulating time, space, and energy. So are you manipulating things? You know what I mean? In a negative space? Be careful. Be careful. Um, yeah, it's feeling very upside down, right? Stranger Things, right? It's like, whoa, hold on. It could feel like, am I living in an alternate universe, right? If we're thinking a little bit more metaphysical, feeling like you're in another universe, feeling like it could also, I'm feeling like sort of like schizophrenia, right? Like seeing things that aren't there, but it's like there's some truth to the sort of things that people are seeing during their mental it's crazy expansion and compression, right? That's happening with the mind when people are having psychotic breaks. So the situation could be talking about that. Maybe that person is not, maybe they might have that sort of mental disorder. What else, magician in the reverse? Yeah, I'm really just feeling like, hey, don't play in a world that you don't know about. Educate yourself first, tap into your lineage, see what's going on. Don't be playing with magic. All right, that's it for the magician, y'all. I know I be getting hella hyped and hella long-winded, but I love you guys and I hope that this was helpful. I know I just came up with some new things, which is really beautiful. I love when spirit just flows through. Hope you guys are enjoying these Teach Tarots. Please let me know in the comments below. How are you using tarot? How is it helping you? What are your own interpretations? Because I love hearing new versions, because tarot is storytelling. And so we all have a different viewpoint, and yeah, so share your stories with me, please. See you guys on the next one. Peace.